Hey everybody, and welcome to this. I have Jen Rogers with me on today's live call, and I'd love to be able to tell you what we're doing today, but I was on vacation for 2 weeks and I completely forgot what this was about. So, Jen, why are we here?
Oh my word. Listen, maybe I should have been praying that you got attacked by those bears that you were afraid about getting attacked about. Holy gamoles. Okay, I have this brainy idea that I want to sell high ticket, right? I've had several offers and I've been switching things up, and Substack basically changed my life. So now I'm here on Substack.
Okay,
I've closed down my other offers with the exception of you can book power hours with me, one or a three pack, or you could join my paid subscriber list. So I help people launch their podcasts. And when they want to kill them, I help them resurrect them and help them become profitable.
okay.
So I want to work with you on creating a high ticket offer around maybe a mastermind of people who have already launched
Hmm.
and they really want to learn how to make it profitable. Because right now, $99 a year for my tier is ridiculous. Okay. I wrestled with myself on
Hmm.
whether or not I was going to do that. And you did not forget what we were going to talk about today. I know better than that, but that's what's on my mind.
Okay, so folks, congratulations. You've just experienced how professional she is because I told her I was going to mess with her. She didn't know what I was going to say, and then she went and ran with it. So she's smooth.
Ooh.
So she has this professionalism already down. She knows what she's talking about already. I was sort of hoping she'd throw it just back in my lap and say, "Okay, I don't know what we're doing. Maybe we should leave." But but anyhow,
Absolutely not. This is live number 6. I am in it to win it. Let's go.
oh yeah, hey folks, this is live number 6. Are you like 6 days in a row for you or
Oh,
something?
no, my 6th live. So I've been on Substack 90 days. So, and I have 2 more coming next week, maybe 3.
Okay. So yeah, so Jen is just cranking it out here. I'm pretty sure where I can't see what you're seeing, folks. But first of all, thank you for joining us, Ignite Retirement. Charles, you're the one that sparked me to send that pre-homework to this live. The article I completely forgot about, so thank you. Olivia and Kyra, thank you all for joining us live. So here's what we're going to be doing today, folks. I do have a decent amount of experience coaching people in high ticket world. In fact, I was coaching and selling high ticket before the word high ticket existed on the internet. Um, and look, she's so good. She's even posting. I can't even. How can she type? And I can't. Luckily, I can't type. So, let alone do it while talking. So I've done some high ticket stuff before in the past. Like I said, before it's even called high ticket. Jen and I made an offer that I was going to do a live coaching for anybody who wanted it. It would be literally the same offer, the same one first introductory coaching call that I would have with the client who is paid. Some clients are typically in the 5 to 25,000 range. This is that call. Now, one of the benefits that Jen provides for me on this call is she does have a serious offer already. She does know what she's doing. She's very good at it. And for everybody listening, I did my best to learn as little as possible about her and her business. I wanted to go in and be as confused as possible. Now, here's the way this coaching call is going to happen. Again, Jen sort of just introduced herself. I'm going to have her introduce herself again in a second. This coaching call was really going to be, I want her to teach me how to sell her high ticket offer this hour. So she's going to teach me a little bit. I'm going to be asking her questions. The goal is going to be that she has a masterpiece already, and we're going to make it a world-class masterpiece. So we're going to just sculpt her offer a little bit. What's going to happen during this session, again, will be me asking her a lot of questions, me helping her refine how she communicates that offer, and Jen sort of teaching me and all of you, one, what her offer is, and two, the ability for me to be able to potentially sell it at the end of this, meaning I can communicate her offer. This is not the only call we're going to do. Jen and I, depending on Jen's schedule, we're going to meet probably a second time, maybe a week or two from now, and we're going to practice a little bit with her offer. She's going to be communicating it to me, selling me. I'm going to help her back, and she's possibly going to discuss if she had any calls or has had any calls in the past, and maybe where they failed. And I can possibly find some things that happened. That just happened yesterday with somebody. I was helping him out, and he gave me a reason why he thought something happened. And I said, no, actually, that little bit you just told me, it was this, this, and this. And he was like, oh, it was very, very clear after I said it. So that'll be the second call. Long-winded there, more than I wanted to be, but Jen, again, welcome. Sorry for trying to play around there in the beginning, but I
No,
do.
you're not. I
I,
mean, I'm not either. I love it. I'm here for it.
I was gonna say I prefer having fun. Like my thing says, fun first, business fast.
Yeah.
My little profile. Oh, by the way, folks, I have nothing to sell on this. I won't be selling anything. I might mention that I have a paid subscription thing, but that's it. I have no real offers. So there's no sales pitch. This is not a setup for anything else, unlike many webinars that you might have been on. However, we will be selling Jen, and we will be helping Jen sell her offer right now. Jen, you are Jen Rogers, Mic Drop Mastery.
Yes.
Now, when I first heard that, I thought you can help any speaker because a mic drop to me is usually live speakers like NSA, National Speakers Association. Who is it? Let's go over it again. Who is it specifically that you help, and what is it that you're helping them with?
Yeah, I help established entrepreneurs. That means they have a proven offer, turn an underperforming podcast into a measurable business asset. And I'm goo goo gaga over Substack. So we are doing it all on Substack. So it's not a content time suck. So the show becomes the driver of everything that they do. And it's also the trust building, nurturing, client producing funnel. So top, middle, and bottom of funnel. You can use your podcast in all three of those ways. Because the goal is we want to do what I do, talk for a living.
Okay.
We want to use our voice to make money.
Okay, great. So when you say podcast, define podcast for me, because when I first heard podcast, there were people on YouTube doing videos, and podcasters were audio only. You define for me what your podcast means.
Yeah, this is such an interesting question. So there are people who will get downright scrappy and take you out in the boxing ring over what a podcast is. And I want to do the same thing with you. You said this is not some webinar where we're going to sell you something. Well, this is not even a webinar. I mean, technically, this is a Substack live. This is what we're doing. And listen, a podcast is an audio or video medium where you share your message of transformation and invite people to say yes to what you offer. I prefer audio first podcasting. And the reason for that is too many people wig out about going on video. And that's the very thing that prevents them from launching their podcast to begin with. So I give them full permission that you don't need to dial up for 3 seconds of eyeballs, because when somebody turns a podcast on YouTube, they'll turn it on, they'll see you, but then they're doing their other stuff. They're not looking to see if your lipstick is right or if you just got your eyebrows done, which, by the way, I love when I do that. It feels so good. I don't know if you can relate to that, Jim, or not, but
I was going to say, I'm having a tough time with that, but go for it.
I was just thinking, so I cut my husband's hair and I trim his eyebrows. And I was thinking, I think I need to send you to a specialist, somebody who can make yours look more like mine because I can't do it. But anyway, a podcast is whatever you define it as, whether it's audio or video or both. And I have clients who have both. And actually one of them is here. So Bill with Ignite Retirement. So he does audio and video, and he's really good at what he does. He's really good at a succinct message to say, this is what this show is all about. Starts out with a hook, sells his stuff, and does it audio and video. And I think he's just as in love with Substack now as I am. So he left Spotify, take that Spotify, and now he's over on Substack.
Okay, so to be clear then, so you're only doing podcasts or helping people who want to do a podcast on Substack?
Well, I'll help them launch anywhere, but I am all in Substack. So I updated my website and I put for Substack because I feel like, Jim, this has never happened to me before. I feel like I'm in a blue ocean right now. Like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, there are no sharks in here right now. There are hardly any podcast coaches talking about come and put your podcast or use your podcast wherever it is, but still use Substack to leverage that show. So that is why I am so excited. I mean, 3 months on Substack, $15,000. Like that. Like I didn't feel like I had to work for it.
Just so everybody knows, $15,000 means what? You earned 15,000?
I earned $15,000 through my paid tiers and through one-to-one connections and people hiring me to help them.
Okay, great. So was the majority of that money, that 15,000, was it higher ticket sales?
Yes.
Okay. Can you share with everybody approximately how many?
Podcast coaching.
So podcast coaching. Okay.
Yeah, podcast coaching. 3 podcast coaching.
Okay, it was. I was
opportunities.
just going to ask if it was more
Yeah,
than two. That's all. Okay,
yeah,
great. So
yeah.
you've had some sales with your high ticket offer already. So you're actually you're selling it. You're already closing deals with it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So let's start diving into the details of this
Okay.
right away. Uh,
Before
you're
we do, can I ask you something?
sure.
So I'm here because I caught you live and I saw a couple of things that you did and I looked at your area of expertise. And one thing I noticed that in our time together, we've been on 11 minutes now. I have not heard you say why people should listen to you. And
Mhm.
I'd love for you to share a little bit because when I told my husband about the opportunity, I consider this a great opportunity, and I'm so thankful to be here and to learn from you and to create something that to get more clarity on what my offer is and how. But I think it would be helpful if you shared a little bit about what makes you so good at what you do.
Okay, so I thought I slightly covered it. I was trying not to speak too much about my history because I'm 40 plus years in sales. So when I mentioned that I've been doing high ticket sales since before it was called high ticket, the clarity behind that would have been I was starting to sell high ticket back in the mid to early 90s, 1990s. I've been in sales officially, officially in sales, and this is why I don't want to talk too much. I've officially been in sales. I'm 61 years old. So that makes me in sales officially 53 years. I won my first sales award at 8 years old, going door to door, selling Fuller Brush. I have no idea how Fuller Brush was able to get little kids legally to go knock on doors and do. I mean, I understand doing high school kids in Cutco like Jennifer did yesterday. You talked to,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I was 8 years old and I won a sales award only because I was the only one willing to go to door. I had no, I didn't, and then I sold newspapers and everything else. But by the time I was 16, I was running a martial arts school. I have 30 plus years of martial arts training and taught for 20. That's what actually gave me my business acumen. I've been in the fitness industry. I have a degree in physiology. And now you're going to hear dogs barking because my wife just came home and dogs are going to start barking.
Nice.
So my background consists of a lot of sales, a lot of different industries, anywhere from health and fitness to media agencies, PR agencies, and helping coaches for the last 25 years, 26 years now, building their businesses to 7 and close to 8 figures for some of them. I'm personally responsible for over $100 million in coaching sales and probably close to $250 million in total sales in my life. So
Incredible.
that's
Incredible.
the expanded version. That's the great host that Jennifer is. When she's working with you, she will make you work. My philosophy. So everybody listening, this was a great. It was great that she's pushing me, supposed to be the coach, for this. Back on me. One, I rarely talk about myself. Two, I'm really trying not to pitch anything. Three, I assume the people that were here have read something from me and sort of have a sense of who I was. So that's why I didn't do it. Doesn't make me right, folks. When it comes to media communication, I go to Jen. So you'll understand that. That's the difference between my experience and hers. I can help her with the sales. I don't think about everything that needs to open up. Like she's asked me, what's your hook going to be when I open up? And I purposely said, I don't have one other than acting confused, which by the way, is a sales tactic. Evan. Okay. So Evans has joined us and I actually met Evans. He was actually helping people with podcasts. He's moved on to do more entrepreneurial things now, but Evans has just joined us too. And Charles, by the way, when you see Charles in the chat, his sense of humor is very much like mine. His lipstick is never right, as he said. As we were
I feel you, Charles. I mean, do you wear a warm one or a cool one? I just don't know. I just wear the one I like.
Don't egg him on because he's really good. He'll just keep going with this.
I love it. Let's go. Let's go. I am excited you are here joining us. And yeah, this is not rehearsed. So as you can tell, let's go.
So we're going to dive, like I said, we're going to dive into the, hey, Evans. So we're going to dive into the questions to get to the point for the high ticket side. What is the price point of your high ticket offer?
The price point of my high ticket offer is $10,000.
Okay.
That's the max. So I have a range of 6,500 to 10,000 for a podcast launch.
Okay, so define that for me. What's a podcast launch versus just the podcast coaching?
Podcast launching is where you don't have a podcast yet, and we work together to put it together to position you as the authority in your space. My preferred client is to work with a business owner and they want to draw clients into their business. So maybe they have a fitness center and they want to draw people in to that fitness center. And the biggest challenge that we work through when we're elevating their authority is they know what they're talking about. They can do
Mhm.
a podcast, no problem. They just don't know the how.
Mhm.
And the underlying fear is, what if I mess up my brand? Or what if nobody likes my show? That kind of thing. So I help them overcome those hurdles so they can put their thought leadership out there and use their podcast as the tool to bring more clients in to their
Okay.
business.
Okay. So let me, I'm always going to sort of go back on something just to be
Okay.
clear. Because so you said fitness center. So it's when you say a business, it isn't necessarily the Substack digital mentor product. You can help any business, dentists, fitness centers,
Yes.
chiropractors. I have a tendency to say those three because that's who I help the most
Okay.
back,
Okay.
back in the day. So you can help anybody starting a podcast. It doesn't have to be someone who's digital based only and only
Correct.
audio. Now it does. It's not also your niche. It sounds like is you use Substack for the podcast, but they don't have to be a Substack user to start their podcast.
That's correct.
Okay, so they have the freedom to do if they've already got a relationship with Spotify or whoever else, they can go anywhere. So they're not limited.
Correct. Correct.
So $6,500 to $10,000.
Mhm.
What's you just told me about the podcast launching it. So is the $10,000 for someone who's starting and you're going to help them launch? And 6,500 is if they already have something, or how does that work?
6,500 to 10,000 is if they don't have a podcast yet. It depends on their needs. So some people have teams or they're going to offload their production. If I'm
Oh,
working with them on their production, so it depends on the level of support that they need and also the time frame. So a typical launch is 90 days. But some people want it faster, and if you want it faster, you're gonna pay more because we have to work harder faster, and I have to spend more time upfront. So, you might pay a little bit more for speed, but depending on where you are, I assess the cost based on our initial conversation. So nobody gets to hire me off the web. We have to have a conversation first to make sure that we're a good fit because 'cause we're gonna be working together. Podcasting, well, I can say a lot of things. I'll shush. I answered your question.
actually, you can keep talking because I'll find the questions within
Okay.
here.
So
So
podcasting is not about podcasting. Podcasting is actually the outcome. Podcasting is really an intimate reveal of what's really going on in your head
mhm.
and what you think about your business, the confidence level that you have, and how you show up sharing that with other people. So it turns into becoming it's really an intimate thing. And it's just like this. I mean, this is you're gonna ask me questions that I may not wanna fully answer, or I'm uncomfortable because I don't know the answer. So it's really this is not about a high ticket offer. That's the outcome.
Sure.
It's about this. So that's what I mean by that.
Okay. So the range varies. It could be anywhere in that price range of 6,500 to 10,000. It's really going
Yes.
to depend on where they're at, what they want.
Right.
Have you discovered so far that most people want to get everything done in 3 months, or are they
No.
afraid and they need more time?
No, they wanna get things done. And most of my clients, not all, but the majority of them have gotten launched in 90 days. Sometimes certain things come up, family things come up, other things come up, but I I've gotten better at changing my contract so that I'm not in it forever. When these things started happening, I said, "Oh my gosh, I gotta fix this a little bit." But 90 days, yes, you absolutely can get done in 90 days.
Okay. And when it comes to how much time you might have to put in for somebody,
Mhm.
by the way, I'm not going to talk to you anything about your coaching. I'm not going to alter anything about how you coach, but I am going to ask that question right now.
Okay.
How much time, if someone pays $10,000 and they need a lot of help and they're going like me, I wouldn't know where to really start. I don't have a problem talking to a camera.
Right.
I have 40 plus years of experience, but I wouldn't really know how to start or how to even do this. So I need a lot of time with you, and
Yeah.
I invest $10,000 with you.
Yeah.
How much time are you putting in personally with me?
Oh, that's a great question. I thought maybe I ought to measure that. So what I commit to is over that 90 days, we will meet for 1 hour at least 9 times. So we'll have FaceTime at least 9 hours, and
Okay.
then you have unlimited Voxer access to me, so you don't stay stuck. And then we have a place where we share all our assets. So all the stuff that we're working on. So before the call, I'm at least a half hour to an hour prep.
Okay.
And then after the call, probably 15 minutes, and then the in between time. So if I just double and say 18 hours, plus if I'm giving you a trailer and 2 fully audio edited podcast episodes, that's gonna be another 3 hours. So, maybe 30 hours.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess 30 hours. It's probably more, Jim, but, I don't
That's
know.
fine. So even if it's 50, it's 30 to 50 hours, which should be fantastic for anybody who, and again, my people listening to me, I come from a high ticket world. I know what they don't deliver. I know that for $12,000, you can get 10 weeks. And if you've never done a webinar, this is a person who sold webinars. If you've never done a webinar before, you got to build the webinar, have the whole sales pitch, learn how to market it, run Facebook ads, close the deals, all within 12 weeks. And if you don't succeed over that period of time, well, the only way we can keep helping you is pay another 25,000 or 35,000 to keep going for a year. So when people listening to me, when I'm giving you my perspective from that world, which is not at all what Jen just described. She spends a ton of time with you, personal time with you. Everything else that I was just telling you about is done in a group format, and you may not even get an opportunity to have your questions answered over there because there's a group of people. So,
Yeah, and this is why this is the inherent problem is the scaling, because I can only take so many clients at a time because I'm in it with you, and I can see Stacy's here. Yeah, Tracy's here. James is here. So welcome if you are here. And again, a couple of clients in here which is really great. And I know Stacy is just launching her show. She's doing a great job with her show as well, and just excited about what can happen. I'm in it. I know details about Stacy because I've spent time with her,
yeah.
with her show. Same thing with Bill. Because it's so important to me that I understand, just like you're trying to understand from me. It's so important that I understand from you what it is that you want from your podcast. So I was recently working with a client and she was feeling the stress of, oh my gosh, I don't think I can release weekly episodes. I said, okay, what do you feel like you can do? And so now we're on a season model where she's going to create 10 episodes that highlight her authority, highlight her expertise, and she doesn't know when season 2 is coming out. And I said, as long as we say in your episodes what to expect, then you're good to go. So podcasting is changing now. You can be radical with podcasting. You don't have to do it the old fashioned way. And in fact, I would say to you things like pre-recorded intros and outros and leave a review on my show. Those things are out. Nobody wants to hear those anymore because not only is the technology better and our expertise is higher, but the expectation of our audience is much higher. They expect a better experience and they also expect you to get down to it.
That's interesting you just said that because I'm going to guess, and I may not be right, but I'm going to guess the people, everything you just described, like my expertise and people want to get down to it. And all the things you just said, the people who haven't launched yet and they want to work with you, what are their biggest fears? Are some of those their biggest fears and that's why they haven't started yet?
They're afraid that it won't work for them, and they're afraid it's gonna take way too much time. So they see podcasting as an add-on to all the stuff they're already doing versus it becoming the driver that you start with your podcast, and therefore you actually end up saving time because your stuff starts there, and then you share based on what's going on your podcast. And your podcast is directly tied to your offers. So it really starts with the classic, the end in mind. You got to start with the end in mind. And the end in mind is what is your offer? So for me, I recently launched a Substack podcast studio. Again, I'm Lulu for Substack. Okay. I killed my old podcast publicly. I didn't kill it silently like many podcasters do because they don't want anybody to know that they're not podcasting anymore.
Right.
But I launched the Substack podcast studio and it's going gangbusters because it goes back to that. This is why I know the sharks have not found me yet. This is why I'm loving the blue ocean. It's so good. But every episode I have, I say, okay, what is my offer? Well, come join the studio. Come join the Substack podcast studio. And now that the tiers are open, now they can subscribe. as a paid subscriber, but even when I started, I had to know what my offer was. So you need to know what your offer is, and then you build your podcast episodes that lead directly to your offer because that's what makes sense.
Right. Okay. So is the studio a stepping stone towards personally working with you?
Yes. So this is how okay, remember I said right now is $99 a year, which I wrestled with myself to say, oh my gosh, I'm looking at this is I just can't. I just can't. I can you cannot have access to me for $99 a year. This is what am I? A Tootsie Roll? I am not a Tootsie Roll. I just so I had to wrestle with that. And once I got around and I said, okay, wait a minute. People say, yes, I want to subscribe to you on Substack. And if they say I want to give you $99, I'm not spending ads. Okay, Substack gets my 10%. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm having ongoing relevant market research. And once people get in a room with me and they work with me, they know, oh yeah, I want to work with her some more. So that's how that's how I'm viewing the tiers. I'm like, you know what? This is good. I'm building relationships. I'm inviting people in and I'm going to help them. And
Okay.
not everybody's going to say yes, but some people will say, yes, I want to work with you privately. So they'll book maybe a 3-pack power hours, or maybe they'll say, hey, I want to pivot my show. A lot of people hate their shows. They resent their shows and they do want to kill them. We can rescue your show. We can pivot it. We can make the necessary modifications. So once we spend time together, I think that's where my wins are, because the reason we're talking is I'm still learning how to talk about what I do in a meaningful way that says, hey, I could save you a buttload of time if you just understood these things.
So how long is it typically, like if someone does this on their own, and I realize every person's level of experience is going to be
Yeah.
vastly different. But if someone tries to do this on their own, you're just saying, save me a buttload of time, which is a technical term for a lot. So what, when people typically try to do this on their own, the struggles they don't know they're going to face, they don't know that they don't know.
Right.
How much time do you feel like you potentially are saving people?
Oh my gosh. I'm probably saving you 50 hours.
Okay.
Probably,
So,
yeah, but yeah, and I'm not just talking, the YouTube videos and stuff that you're watching. I'm talking about how we structure your show to position you as the authority. You don't know, people always ask me, "So Jen, what's my first episode?" And they go listen to some first episodes. Do your own market research on this. Go listen to some first episodes of podcasts and find out the number of shows where it's all about me. Let me tell you why I started the podcast. Let me tell you what's going on with me. Let me share with you why it is that I thought after 5 years, maybe I'm finally going to launch. Who cares? Nobody cares. Episode number 1 needs to position you as the authority in your market. So when you put yourself out there, the very thing you're afraid of, that you're going to ruin your brand when you're successful in every other area, you're doing that when you say, oh, this is why I started the podcast. Nobody cares. Your job is to make them care. You've got to make them care. So the authority positioning and the understanding and taking the guesswork out of how you structure your first 10 episodes, that's what I give you. So that's about 50 hours of work.
okay. So part of your offer.
Wait a minute. I'm a little irritated about that. Why are you spending 50 hours guessing? I got to lean into this. Okay.
So
I'll come back.
yeah. So actually, I think that you're actually, in my perception, my hallucination, based on the fact that I haven't done this, is that you're actually saving people a lot more than that. You mentioned it. They go watch YouTube videos. They pay for the 14 courses that cost $47 on how to start a podcast. And they go through like 6 of the 12 hours because they never complete a course. And then so all these other things distract people. So the awareness of the amount of time that you're saving people, what you're describing is a very professional focused, if they're already doing something, to go from starting to branding to authority to a successful podcast. Correct, 50 hours. I think you're probably helping people save between 250 hours and 52 weeks worth of effort. So be aware of that when you're communicating your high ticket offer.
Okay. Interesting. Jenny, keep going, mama. We just met. Hi there. Welcome. Oh, I want to work with you privately too. I just love you. I mean, we've just had a few conversations. This is the power of notes, people. This is the power of notes on Substack. You meet the coolest people. This is how Jim and I met. first notes, and then I saw him come up live, and now
Yeah.
here we are. He's trying to help me sell stuff. It's
You
beautiful.
meet cool people, and sometimes you meet people like me. So
I think you're quite cool.
thank you. So be aware of the fact that you're saving people a tremendous amount of time beyond because again, we're only talking about. I mentioned your Substack Studio, which you mentioned, I guess, is the currently $99 a year offer.
Right.
You've also mentioned you have these blocks of calls, like maybe 3 calls people can invest with you, which would be more than $99, I'm assuming. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's the second level up. And then it's private from the blocks. They can possibly invest a couple times in blocks, but is the private training the next level up from the blocks?
Yes. So I don't have anything else in between there. Although something I put down that I was thinking of is it would require some savvy positioning, but a mastermind that would be a limited mastermind to really strategize about how to continue to go and grow with your podcast and collaborate and get on the right shows so that you can continue to evolve your expertise. I know feelings lie a lot. I don't feel quite ready for that because I don't have proof. I mean, I have proof individually, but I don't have proof that a mastermind will work. So that would be my hesitation there, which would be the same thing that people have about their podcasts. I don't have proof it'll work.
Well, so from my point of view, this is a sidetrack, and I don't want to take too long on this. My point of view is the mastermind can be less expensive than your personal one-on-one coaching. It can also be much more expensive. Your mastermind might be $3,000 for a period of time, like 3 months. And your mastermind might be a $25,000 year-long experience where you're really elevating people to a specific set of goals. So don't let the word mastermind confuse anybody. If I hear the word mastermind, for those you, and Evans knows, Evans and I have worked with some other couple years ago. So we know each other pretty well. Masterminds will work, but don't, whatever you think a mastermind isn't. I'll just say it that way. Not the way you would do them. I just know that I know you well enough to know there's a lot of flexibility and variables here. All right. So let's dig into your offer specifically now.
Okay.
What would prevent me from just buying blocks of time with you several times and end up getting like 10 hours with you or 12 hours with you? Say I buy 4 3-hour blocks. Am I prevented from buying 4 3-hour blocks with you?
No, you're not. So when you look at my website, you can buy 1 hour for $5.97, or you can buy 3 hours for $16.47. I used to have a 6-hour up there, but people weren't doing that a lot because they don't know me. So when you find me cold, you look at that, oh, okay, an hour, the risk is a little bit lower. But when we get on a call, you can have a consult with me. So when we get on a consult, if depending on what you tell me, a 3-pack may not be right for you, a 6-pack might be right, or whatever it's going to be. It depends on it's uniquely created around whatever your need is right then. So it's a starter point, but I'll make an offer based on the conversation.
Okay, so let me go back to price wise. Where's the 6-pack fall?
Well, it's 16, so 3,200.
Okay, so
yeah, 32, 3,500, right around there. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no again, no at the moment, no discount, so I could buy a 3-pack. I'm trying to, so 1,600 for 3-packs equals about $6,000, a little bit over $6,000. So, or I could just go for the 6,500 to 10,000 range. Okay,
right.
So, just something for me to be aware of as we're discussing.
Okay.
How to move forward with this, because I like the step ups, and I think it's a way for people to start to work with you. And I think the 3 hours, as an example, would be a great way for people to decide, yes, I want to take this to the next level. Let me get this done in 90 days. Let me make the bigger investment. Fully agree with.
And when they do that, then I mean, there's a benefit when you say, "Hey, I want the launch plan." So if we're just doing 3 hours, I'm not going to edit your assets, for example. There are certain things that I won't do.
So I'm going to stop you there because you're about to describe what I'm about to ask.
Okay.
Okay. So so I'm just hold on. Let's go over your offer.
Okay.
If you had to describe the segments of your offer, editing assets would be possibly one of them. I'm going to let you define how many. I call them pillars. It's
Uh-huh.
like, here's your overarching offer, like the top of the form, like the in Greek form, right? And then you have pillars that hold them up.
Right.
Can you break down the various pieces of your offer that would hold the big thing, the big part of the offer up?
Yeah, I would say that the first thing would be the outcome, the asset that you actually have your podcast launched in 90 days and you've got a trailer and 2 episodes in the hopper ready to go and you know what your next 8 episodes are. So you have that. So you have actual assets. You have coaching, one-on-one coaching with me.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going to stop you there. Let's go back to the assets for a second.
Okay.
After each one, it's going to sound. I'm going to need to break in. I think just based on when you described that.
Okay. Let's do
So
it.
when you're doing this and they have the assets,
Uh-huh.
they have 2 episodes done. You're not helping them do the episodes. You're just helping them get their own
Oh, no,
episode.
we're creating them together.
Okay? So teach me a little bit about that. How does that work?
That happens on our coaching calls, and I have a couple of resources that I share with you. So I have something called the converting episode framework. That thing by itself is worth $1,000 for the amount of time and the clarity that it gives you. So I give that to my paying clients that here's the how you put a converting episode together. So you take that training about an hour on your own, and then when you come back, we practice putting your first episode together.
And you mentioned the trailer too.
Yeah, the trailer. Mhm.
Are
Yeah.
you working on the trailer with them? You're doing
Yes.
it for them.
Yes, I'm doing it with them. And not for did you say for them? No, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it with them. So I'm
Okay.
gonna give them I'm like the bumpers on the bowling alley. That
Okay.
this is stay in the lane. This is the lane you're going because each one of us is going to come across differently. So the way we put a trailer together is going to be different. It's going to be unique to you. I mean, that's why we do one-to-one because we want unique to you.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for joining us, Melody,
Hey,
um,
Melody.
for Powered by Purpose. So what you just described to me isn't just that they have the assets done. This isn't that they're doing it on their own either. It's a done with you program.
It is done with you. Yeah.
So it's not, here's your course. Good
No.
luck.
No.
12 weeks. Hope you get it done.
Oh my gosh.
It's done with you. So that's a major difference. And you described the podcast as it's not just a podcast.
Uh-huh.
You used the word a converting podcast.
I did. Intentionally.
You said it to me the second time, but not the first time when you're describing the offer, which you may say during the sales call. People understand you may have something you say during the sales call. It's a little bit different. I would highly lean into done with you, like the bumpers example.
Uh-huh.
It's a great example. And the converting podcast. There's a difference between having a podcast,
Right.
which 99% of the population has started and typically lets go of, or they keep going and don't convert,
Right.
or having a converting podcast. It's much better to start off with a converting podcast because it doesn't lead to, I want to kill this podcast.
Right. And I tell the story. So in my first year of podcasting, 52 weeks in a year, right? 52 weeks. So 52 episodes. My first year, I had 1066. So slightly over 1,000 downloads
Okay.
and 0 sales.
Okay.
So I've lived that pain. I made it up as I went along. I understand all the things I did wrong. And I pivoted from there and hired coaches and learned and put into practice. And now I am adamant about that you go in it with a profit mindset. I don't want to hear here's what I hear. I'm just in it for the ministry. No. No, then I might not be your coach. If you're just in it because you don't wanna make money, I'm probably not the right coach for you because I'm all about monetizing. And if you are in it for ministry, don't you need the tool we call money to keep the ministry afloat? So you need to have calls to action that convert, that are a natural outflow of the episode that you're creating, so people will want to do more than just buy you a coffee. I would love to kill buy me a coffee. Can we just kill buy me a coffee? Because if you are into podcasting for buying a coffee, just go to the coffee shop, have a conversation with somebody, record it, and put it out there. I mean, why are you working so hard otherwise?
Right.
So
Right.
there's a little rant there. Okay, I'll lean into converting.
Well, okay, so no, but that rant, again, that's the story you tell, the 1,000 episode, 52-week, no conversion. That's the story you tell before you describe that asset, before you describe that pillar.
Mhm.
It's incredibly important that you help people understand. I know where you're now. You might be telling this in the conversation leading. We're not going to do a whole sales call here. The
Uh-huh.
lead up to the presenting the offer is also extremely important. That's where most of my sales, when I teach sales to sales teams, most of their sales are lost there, not doing the offer, because they can read the script once we get a script together. But what you just described is that little story, the bump. And again, remember, you're teaching me how to sell your stuff right away. So I'm repeating everything back to you.
Okay.
That story, 1,000 downloads, 52 weeks, no conversion, bumper, the bumpers on bumper bowling, or
Bumpers on the bowling alley. Yep.
bumpers on the bowling
They're in the
alley.
queue
Yeah,
lane.
couldn't think of the thing. And Jonna, thanks for joining. Jonna's one of people that I've known for a while too.
Nice. Jonna.
Bumpers of bowling, and then the like I said, the conversion, the lack of conversion. So you know the experience, and and part of that before I get into the offer, I would say I'm assuming you don't want to go through that struggle too,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
because you
That's
want to
good.
make sure that they're hooked in and they were paying attention, because they
Yeah.
might have been doing this. Now I'm trying to look
Uh-huh.
at the camera.
Uh-huh.
You don't see it on
Uh-huh.
camera, but I'm doing this. I'm texting a friend while you're telling me stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that little question of
That's pretty rude, by the way. That's pretty rude. Let's just be real here.
but that's what some of your clients might be doing. They're zoning out for a second
Yeah. Yeah.
because they don't mean to, but their kid is in
Yeah.
trouble in school or something like that. So asking that question before I start to present that first pillar in the offer is incredible. And then the second part of that is you're helping them create a converting podcast from day one. And once they've got this rhythm going, it's converting forever.
Right.
So it's the done with you aspect of what you're doing is massive, because people feel, many of the people that you're going to be talking to got handed here's your course, join the group coaching. I'm sorry if you can't make it at that time. That happens to be where our time is. And if you can't make it, you can listen to the recordings,
Right.
which never helps anybody. And no one goes back and listens to the recordings.
Right.
I bring those points up. In your case, you're actually working with these people. So that's the brief overview of what I hear is pillar number one.
Okay.
Getting a trailer, 2 episodes, not just a podcast, 2 episodes of converting podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Pillar number 2 is, now you started to talk about coaching.
Yeah. So I was talking about that one-to-one mentorship, that we are working together one-to-one. So I took the outcome, the podcast assets being one pillar and the private coaching being another pillar. So you're saying they go together.
So yeah, that can be. So the coaching part of that is, yeah, they're actually going together. That's how you get them done. The done with you is the coaching side. Okay.
Okay. I have one pillar. This building is not going to stand up if I don't have more. Let me see.
So no, what else? So what else are you helping people with? Now you're helping people. You mentioned the brand. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what my brand is, Jen. I mean, I'm just an old guy who's done a lot of sales, as an example. What brand do I have?
Yeah.
Don't use me as an example, but I'm just saying, you help people, but you help people with the branding aspect. Is that something that you're?
I do actually. That's really a great point. And some things are coming up for me where I do assess that, because I have to understand what you look like, and I'll point out if you don't look the same. I'll point out that, listen, we've got to make sure that what you're saying on your podcast is what's reflected over here. So if you've got this quiz that you do and it doesn't align with what you say you do, then we've something's got to shift here. So I do look at the assets. I'm not going to call myself a professional marketer. I can tell you that I can look at something and say, that's not right.
Yeah.
So I do help you by ensuring that your branding is cohesive. I could say that. Cohesive branding with your podcast.
Okay. And again, that's something that a lot of people don't look at in the beginning. Or here's what I've discovered. People spend too much time trying to get their branding, their logo, their website. They spend so much time doing that they never launch, which is another challenge. So if they're working with you, you're telling me is you can help them with their branding so they don't have to spend 6 months trying to get a logo and brand. That's not the branding we're talking. Doesn't sound like that's the branding you're talking about. You're not trying to help them with their colors and their logo,
Right.
or are you?
No, I'm not. I'm asking for their colors and logo, and then I help them create their podcast art. I create mock-ups of the art, and then I share it with them.
So
And
that's done for you. You create the mock-ups for them.
I do.
Okay, so that's important. We're going to do some branding, and I'm not going to leave you out on your own where you have to search 1,000 different templates on templatesareus.com. I'm going to actually help you. You give me the colors, you give me the branding you currently have, and I'm actually going to work and do branding artwork for you. If you're open to that, doesn't mean you have to accept it right away, but that is something I would have it done for you. So you don't have to stress about another dozen hours of working on your own and trying to figure out the right colors and trying to figure out and make sure that, well, this is really cool, but it doesn't match your brand.
Right.
It's like, and that's the mistake that no one, because the tendency for coaching, normal coaching, meaning untrained, inexperienced coaches who have read a book and gone to a weekend seminar and now are a coach, they have a tendency to say, that's awesome. That's great. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. But if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. You have the ability to at least tell them for the podcast, at least podcast artwork, matching their colors to the best of whatever fits with their logo. You'll actually do that for them, not just with them.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. I mean, they approve. They have the final approval. But yes, I do that for them. And one of the things, I don't know that I'd call it a pillar, it's just how I roll. One, I do appreciate certifications. I'm a recovered certified public accountant for one. And when I went to become a coach, I said there are all these online coaches, and I'm not going to just say, hey, I'm a coach. So I went and spent 2.5 years and got certified as a professional coach because I want to be able to put myself out there with integrity. All that to say that, uh, if it's crap, I'm gonna tell you it's crap, with love, but I'm gonna tell you it's crap. I'm not gonna blow smoke. I'm gonna tell you this is not gonna work when you lie. Yes, so
Okay, and that's again hugely important for when you describe your offer. Just for Melody, I listen to recordings too. I know I said people don't listen to recordings. I coached 750 people in a group for the last several years, and I know they didn't listen to recordings because they joined me, and I knew just by simple questions. So, Melody, when I say that, it is a general term. I'm the kind of person to listen to recordings, but see, people like Jen would help me save hundreds of hours because I listen to everybody's recordings of everything I buy, and I bought tons and tons of stuff. So, in fact, including from Kendall Summerhawk has just joined us. I've actually bought some of her stuff years ago. So it's just someone who's joining us right now. So your offer, the first thing with the assets is done with you. The branding side of it becomes very confusing for a lot of people, and too many people just go along with it, but you're actually saving them potentially a graphic designer's fee and the graphic designer headache, and the fact that they don't have to go to Fiverr and try to hire someone for $20. And they don't have to go to a professional graphic designer that does it for $3,000 a month. You're actually going to help them because those two people are great with the artwork, but they don't know how to do the conversion podcast and how to get the artwork to work with the podcast. Make sense?
yes, I am tracking with you. I'm loving this. So good.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying so far. What else is inside of your offer? What else are you doing?
I mean, so much of it, I consider it being wrapped up in the one-to-one coaching. I mean, I yeah.
Can I ask you a couple more questions? And
Please do. Help me find another pillar because I only have 3 and that just doesn't feel like enough.
Okay, so tell me your 3 pillars.
My 3 pillars are what we just talked about, the emphasizing the conversion aspect of the podcast, with the done for you assets of the trailer and the 2 episodes, the branding and marketing expertise, and the cohesive branding with your podcast. And then I guess, am I calling the art a separate one, or is that part of the branding?
Well, it's part of the branding at the moment. First of all, I'm not creating the roles for you. You
Yeah.
can mash this together. However,
Yeah.
it's your piece of clay. This is your artwork. This is your
Uh-huh.
sculpture, your piece of clay. You design it the way you want to design it.
I thought you were Michelangelo. Wait a minute. I thought you were the carver. Wait a
Oh,
minute. The
he's my great,
sculptor.
great, 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 great uncle, but no, that's it.
Okay.
Um,
I mean,
so,
the
so
thing
what?
I, hmm,
Well, so ultimately, what's the result? Now, I know people are going to have a podcast, and they're going
yeah,
to have a converging podcast, and they're
yeah,
going to have great artwork that helps with their branding and keeps their branding. So when they do their marketing, whether it's on Substack, Spotify, YouTube, wherever, they're going to be able to do all that
right,
in a way that is cohesive. But they don't have to do any thinking because they can just put it up there now because they know the branding, the artwork, it matches. And when people come to listen to the podcast, they've got a podcast and a structure that delivers that will help them convert.
right.
To not just listeners, not just likes, because I've never paid an electric bill with a like, but I have paid it with money. So they will convert to sales.
Right.
What else are these people really looking for? I know
They,
they think they're looking for a podcast, but you mentioned
right.
it previously. No one's really, you mentioned it as podcasting is a tool.
Right. And I'm thinking about the intimacy. I mean, for me, I pray over my clients. Sometimes I pray with my clients. I have that on the coaching forum if there's something you'd like to pray with about this upcoming session. So I strongly believe my biblical worldview is an asset to what we're creating. So there is that piece that I'm the support that you don't have to wig out. So when we're not on a live call together, you can still connect with me. And to me, that's the biggest thing, to know that your coach is in your corner and you don't have to wait for the next call, that you can reach out.
Okay. So one of the big things you're doing that's different, and people need to understand this, especially at the price point you're charging, which isn't a negative. I'm just saying the price point you're
Uh-huh.
charging,
Mhm.
it's not one of the group coaching sessions. For you to understand my world, $10,000 and you get a group coaching session and you get 1 hour a week where you can ask the coach something. And like, that's sometimes an exaggerated version, or maybe 2 or 3 hours a week. But if you can't make those calls, you got to wait. Or you can go to Facebook group and you can ask questions there, but the questions are sometimes out of context, or the person has to spend, if you're like me, I have to spend an hour typing out a 3-paragraph question because one, I don't type, and 2, I edit 17 times. And so it takes me a tremendous amount of time. If I don't have the ability to talk, my questions take a lot of time for me to type out. So one of the things that you're offering people is that one-on-one, the as needed supports, because they have the ability to communicate with you on Voxer. So it's
Mhm.
not just that they get one-on-one attention with you,
Right.
but they also have oh, shoot, I just thought of this. Get on Voxer, ask a
Mhm.
question. It might not be answered immediately, but it will be answered.
It will be answered. And a lot of times, if we're both available, we'll just hop on a Zoom. I'm like, let's get on, let's get it done. Because I love checking things off my list. So I figure my clients are a lot like me. So let's get it off your list. Let's not carry it around. So there are times that we'll hop on a Zoom call real quick, 15, 20 minutes. And I don't know that I don't keep track of that. I don't call it a session, any of that. But I just know I want you to be successful, because there's so much doubt in the whole process. Okay. Even though we're creating stuff, you're still wondering, is it going to work? Is it going to work? And I've got to be there to let you know you're on the right track. You're doing great. This is happening. This is what we're doing next.
So some of the biggest challenges people face, by the way, folks, I think we're going to, Jen, do you have past the hour to work?
I do. I do.
Okay. So we're probably going to go a little bit past the hour, folks. If anybody has to leave, I fully understand. But what you just described is also the thing that most people miss in group coaching sessions. When they freak out, they have a tendency to become an ostrich and bury their head instead of reaching out. They're afraid to reach out because sometimes the authority in the call isn't, sometimes the authority, the level of, I'm just going to state it this way, folks. I don't mean this for any specific people. I'm not going to name names or anything. I'm just going to state there are actually, I will name a name. If you had Tony Robbins as a coach and you're in his group, it would be very tough for most people to reach out to Tony and have a conversation with him. because just from the authority, not that they don't want to, but his authority level is you can't get to Tony. You're basically not going to get to him. So therefore, you'd be afraid to ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
The difference that you're offering is we're going to get to know each other so well. Whenever you have those oh darn moments or uh-oh moments, and you want to feel like you want to go bury your head in the sand, that's when you reach out to me. Just type SOS on Voxer.
I love that. I love that. That's so good. I don't say it that way. I say, hey, you can reach out to me, but I like how you described it, that you put that there's that feeling, that emotion there. And the same thing, I'm not Tony Robbins. I know that. I'm a lot shorter than he is, for one. And I make a lot less money than he does so far. but people still have that. They hesitate to reach out. Did she really mean what she says?
Yeah.
So that's a great word right there.
So yeah, and from everybody listening, and Jen, this is for you, but for everybody listening, the psychological, there were 750 people in this group that I coached for years. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I was a hired coach. It wasn't my company. I was hired to teach sales for the company. And there were 750 people. I would have, say, 30 people that were able to make the call. 30. On the call, I'm a very active coach on a call, and I would tell people, I'd be trying to get them involved, and I'd say, hey, at least say hi, whatever. And there'd be 2 people to ask questions, and I got 2 hours to coach these people. 2 people would be consistently ask questions because they got to know me, and they'd always be there. The other 28 people would be afraid to say anything, so I would start calling people out and say, hey, if you just want to come up and say hi, just tell me a little bit about what you do.
Yeah.
And talk, and then those little conversations became regulars because they didn't have to sell me, they didn't have to communicate, but they were so afraid to just ask a question because they didn't know what to ask because they're so confused. You're helping people get over where group coaching fails people. People hide in the group, they hide in the back of the room. I'm one of the people that always hides in the back of the room. And like Charles, I resemble that remark. He said, Charles just like, I resemble that remark. Yeah, we're both the kind of people that we hide in the back of the room. We're not likely to ask questions. I absorb. People think that they want to just absorb what they're listening to. That's the biggest struggle people make when it comes to succeeding with their coaching program that they invested in. Mm-hmm. They think they can learn by just sitting back and listening to other people, and I don't even know what questions to ask. Great, you don't need to know the questions to ask. I'll ask the questions and I'll help you figure out what you need to learn. That's what you're doing for people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I know that's part of the gifting that I have to see what's coming. I can see what's coming. It's the podcasting experience, working with enough clients now, but also it's a gifting that I have to be able to see some things. And it's a gift I want to honor. I want to make sure that I honor that.
Right. For everybody's listening, we didn't highlight this in the beginning, but Jen, do you work only with Christian women?
No, I don't. So here's the thing. I've wrestled with this. I've gone back and forth. And I have several men who have come and I have helped with their podcasts and who have subscribed to the Substack podcast studio. So no, I don't. But there's a certain way that women talk to each other. So I put that on the Substack podcast studio because I want to talk girl to girl sometimes. And if I make it for everybody, so I said, okay. And I even have it in my bio, I know, in Substack, but
actually, I don't think you do. I think you took it out.
Maybe I did. I don't know. I do. I really like my bio right now. Whatever it is, I really like my bio right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I did take it out. Yeah. So,
So you're open to helping anybody, not just women.
Right.
Men.
Right.
Okay. Because I know, like for instance, yesterday, you did a live with somebody named Jennifer, and I went over and joined, and I was about to pay, and it said women, like works with women, and I was like, I don't want to be in there and screw up.
Wait a minute. You were about to join my tier and you didn't join. Is that what I just heard you say?
So yeah, because you had women, Christian women. I said, okay, I got the Christian thing, but I'm not going to identify as a woman. So
listen, Bill is in there. Patrick is in there. I'm not sure who else is there. Come on inside.
Yeah, no, like I said, I plan on being in, but again, I didn't want to get in. I knew we were doing this, so again, I would not join until.
Yeah, this is so good. Yeah, and speaking of joining, so Patrick just joined, so that's awesome. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. Patrick was actually one I was talking to yesterday about a sales conversation that he thought was one thing. He thought it was a money issue, and I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's a certainty issue, which is, by the way, I'm going to answer for everybody listening, my opinion, after doing about, like I said, multiple tens of millions in sales personally and helping others, sales teams, coaching sales teams. All of the objections that you think you will face typically are not. They're never there for two reasons. There's ways to eliminate them. If you get your coaching right, you do the discovery portion of the call. That's where you really got to listen. And one little sentence, sometimes people will miss it. And you can stop there and possibly not even have to worry about pitching because something they say, and that can potentially stop a call and save you a ton of time. Two, if you do discovery right, and the person has got to know you, like they've been listening to your podcast, there's already that know, like, trust. They got to know who you are. They got to know your personality already. They're figuring out who you are. Then when you get to the offer part, the offer needs to be so clear and so understandable for them that they are saying, yes, I want to join, without you even asking, do you want to join? Typically that will happen when you do it the right way. Objections. There's one major objection. It's not, I got to talk to my spouse. It's not, I want to think it over. It's not, I don't have the money. Typically, above all of it, now people may have to do any of it, all those. Mm-hmm. The reality of it is the certainty that this will work for me.
Right.
So, Jen, when you're working on your offer with the notes that you get from today's call, and you're dividing those into pillars, your last pillar is the support pillar, where you're describing whatever I said, in your words. Mm-hmm. So you're starting with bumper bowling and converting websites to helping you with the done for you aspect of the branding to make sure that everything's cohesive. So the conversion and the branding works together. So you don't have to think about that anymore. You can just focus on delivering your information. So that's pillar number one. Pillar number two. Does that sound about right so far, Jen?
Yes, it sounds good. I like that you're going through them. This is helpful. Very helpful.
I have a tendency to repeat because that's how I teach. Uh-huh. Number three then would be the support side of it. The support side, the difference here is we're going to work together one-on-one. Meaning we're going to have actual calls, not stuck. You're not going to be stuck in a group. You don't have to get thrown to the back of the room. You don't have to be afraid to talk because no one else is going to be listening. It's going to be me and you. And whenever you have the several things that happen, like the oh darn moments, and you feel like you just want to bury your head in the sand and, I'm not sure of this and I'm not sure of that, all you got to do is Vox or SOS or help or whatever, and we'll set something up. I'm going to make sure that you get through these 3 months, not just with a converting website. I mean, if converting, I used to sell websites. Sorry. I use the word converting a lot. So, not just a converting podcast, not just with branding that's cohesive and perfect for you and for your podcast, but also with the idea that you're going to always have the support you need for these 3 months. So much so that every one of your questions will be answered typically even before you know to ask them. Because I've done this. I know what it's like. I told you that story about me doing 52 weeks and 1,000 downloads and not converting any sales. I know what it feels like. So I'm going to make sure that you don't even have to ask half the questions. I'll help you figure out the questions before you even ask them. That's the kind of support you have. Those are the 3 pillars. Now, with that said, tell me where you're at let's say on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is, Jim, I just want to get you off the phone. I don't want to ever talk to you again. And 10 is, yeah, I can see this working for me. I fully believe that I'm certain this will work for me. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? And you can't say 7. By the way, that's how I end my offer.
I like it.
Everybody will say 7. If there's hesitancy, if they're not certain, they will say 7. Not everybody, but a massive number of people will say 7. Mm-hmm. So the ones who say anything under 7, like 6.5 or 6, you lost. Like you got to start over. You lost them somewhere. Uh-huh. You may not want to sell them. Okay, so I'm getting to the closing aspect of this real quick. Thank you, Patrick. If they answer above 7, okay, great. Like an 8, great. What would you? I don't talk about the price yet. I've never mentioned the price yet, by the way. What would take you go from 8 to 10? Like, what do you need me give you some better clarification on, because that's all it is. There's a certainty issue of what's the clarification, what do they need to make them feel better. Most of the time, again, with my style of call, when I was doing pitches for my world, high ticket coaching, I just need to know the price. Is that the only thing holding you back? Don't assume that it's really price. It's assume that it's a certainty issue. It's not the price.
I like
If
that.
they are dead serious, I want to make money doing podcasts. I want this to be my retirement. I want it to be an extra $5,000 a month. Jen, can you help me? And I love the idea of doing a podcast. Jen, can you help me with that? That's my question to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So it's just $5,000, right? So I just want to make like $5,000 a month. Yes, you can do that. Now, if someone says, I want to make $500,000 a month and I want to do it in 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you at $495 right now?
I like that. I like that. Yeah. I mean, and there's something, so I do rant on a couple of things and one of those is, hey, create your 7-figure podcast. Listen, your podcast alone is not going to make 7 figures. Your podcast is the driver that draws other people in. Can you make money from your podcast? Yes. But you have to understand that it's where you obey commandment number 8, sell your own stuff. Sell your own stuff on your show, have people come to you. That's how you can get yourself to 7 figures. But it's not through advertising and affiliates and all of that. So I am adamantly opposed to all of those advertisements out there that you see that say you can launch your podcast in 24 hours. I say, yeah, you can. Then what? Then what do you do? So yeah, I just got my ire up there a little bit. So no, I'm not going to promise something like that.
But let's add that into the support part of what you're describing. I'm anti-group coaching. I believe you can scale one-on-one, and that's a whole nother series of conversations, but I can teach it. I know how to, because I've done it. So I'm anti-group coaching. I'm big into one-on-one. I fully believe everything should be one-on-one because that's the only way. From teaching martial arts for 20 years, I taught in a group, and then when I take someone aside, whether it was the 65-year-old man or the 18-year-old girl who was only 5 foot tall, you've got to teach them differently. I don't care. They're physically different structures. You had to teach them differently. When I did one-on-one, everything changed. So when we impacted a group, they did things the way they understood to do it for themselves. That's exactly what you're providing for people. So I'm anti-group coaching. I just did my little pitch on why I do one-on-one. 2, oh no, that's another side. 2, the other thing is when people teach you to do group coaching, people won't launch because they're afraid they don't have a big enough group. Because what if I only make 1 sale? Then I don't have a group, and then it becomes one-on-one, and I can't scale.
I had that when I did a 90-day membership. I said, I'm not committing to a year. I'm going to do 90 days. I'm going to do, because I'm all about 90 days. You can do anything in 90 days. So it fit with my branding at the time. But there was that underlying fear that what if it's only 2 people? I don't want to work my tail off for a year for 2 people. I mean, I love you, but not for this price.
And that's the big challenge that everybody faces when they have all the knowledge, but they won't launch because they're fear of the group. So that's why I won't do a group, because I want to teach one-on-one. I don't care about scaling. I only care about my clients getting results. You just said for you, because you brought this up several times, the 2 or 3 times I've heard you talking on lives, or when you and I had a quick conversation, affiliates, ads, all the other things that people sell, how you make $1 million doing a podcast, how you make $1 million doing YouTube videos, all those other things that come in, those are the massive anchors that people start to try to drag with them and make work. But it doesn't make any sense if you don't have a converting podcast with branding that fits and the right support to get it up, launched, running, and never worry about falling backwards. That's what you
you sold me. I'm sold.
Okay.
I love it.
So for those, okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, Todd, by the way. Welcome, Todd.
Yeah, welcome, Todd. What you just said is always my goal in this call. Jonna has done it, and I didn't do to. Jonna was the one I was gonna ask you some questions, but Jonna and Charles have both said, and most of my clients, when I do this call, I want to hear at the end of the call, you just sold me on my own program.
Yeah.
That
I
means
mean,
you've got
I'm
enough.
excited about it.
Okay, well, but you got enough clarity. So that's the clarity.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's not that I just have some experience. That's all. I just helped you see what you were already doing. I'm just teaching you how to communicate it differently. So the people say, "That's what I want."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the price becomes it's just a budgeting thing. It's a
Right.
certainty thing. Are you certain that this is what you want? What I just said, and you said I'm sold. Great. Now it's a certainty thing. Now it's just from here. It's going to be a budget.
Yeah, that's
And if
good.
and if in my and again, I don't sell. If y'all want to join my paid thing, it's really stupidly inexpensive right now. On
I just
purpose.
joined, by the way. I just joined after I read that post that you put, and then I did the homework, so I was ready.
Oh
But
well, did you see the post? Okay, so folks, everybody's listening. If you go to encoresociety.com/subscribe, you don't have to join. But I'm just saying, if you do, it looks like it's a mistake. The monthly price point is my original intention. The yearly is less than the monthly. It doesn't. It's like it looks like a mistake. I'm doing that on purpose, folks. If you're listening, watching, I'm doing that on purpose because I'm going to play around with Substack. That's not my source of income. My source of income is the higher end coaching. So just letting people know that exists. It's another one of those weird things. But like Jen, the $99 a month, like, man, or $99 a year, that doesn't sound right. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel. But with what you're describing now, with what you understand, what you offer, just put in different words. Does it make you feel comfortable that $10,000 is a very doable sale?
oh yeah, yeah. I like. It's the mechanic with the broken down car. It's much harder to work on your own stuff. And as I was trying to think about what I do when you were asking me questions, I was thinking about client experiences that I had, and I wouldn't have described it that way. I wouldn't have said, "Oh, this is its own really unique thing." The support angle, that's the best
Yeah.
part about it. And in my mind, I suspect I was underselling that, in that I didn't place enough emphasis on that. Yeah, very interesting, very helpful. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna share some notes from some of the stuff that we said. Like if you are an ostrich freaking out with your head in the sand over your podcast, we probably should talk.
Yeah. Or typically, so if you are an ostrich, if you're turning into an ostrich, typically group coaching and courses can't get your head out of the sand.
Yeah.
But someone who cares enough about you to come on, put their arm around your shoulder and help you see and guide you, let you see the other direction. That's me. I'm not going to let you bury your head. That's the thing that people miss by courses and group coaching. And so that's the thing that you're solving.
I love that. I mean, it even feels good as you're saying it. It feels like the pressure in the air it's gone. It just feels really, really good. That's really great. So are you gonna post that note? We can't post the same note. I'm working on my notes on Substack.
I'm only going to ask you. You and I will discuss some other time. We're going to do a second call. So everybody listening, we're going to do a second call. Jen and I are going to do a second call. What she's going to do then is I'm going to be a mock student, or we might invite a second person. If there's anybody in the audience right now who really wants a podcast, you already know the pricing. So I don't know that I'm going to do this, but if you're in the audience right now and you really want to launch a podcast and you're not already working with Jen, actually, it doesn't matter. You could be, because she's not. I might have you come on. So Patrick. Okay, so Patrick's one of them. We might have you come on as a third guest, and Jen will talk to you, but you need to be the customer who has the doubts, the fears. That it's a little bit. All she's going to do is role play with you. If we don't find someone who can match the times, I will be the client, and I will be I'll throw some curveballs at her. I'll say a couple of little things in the discovery portion of it. We're going to go through a full sales presentation. It should only take, I might speed it up. I don't know how long a normal sales call might go for you, but if we're
The goal is 30 minutes. I mean, really,
it should be within 30 minutes.
Yeah, you should know by then. Otherwise it should be 30 minutes.
So the second part of this coaching with Jen is just going to be me doing a role play with her, or maybe one of you doing a role play if it fits in our schedules. Whenever Jen and I decide if she can do this next week, Jen, I want to have you have at least another week to be able to take your notes, review whatever you've heard today, write it in your words. If you get time, practice, because I know you do so many lives and so many other things. But try to practice saying it. Here's the other thing. If you write out everything that you want, I don't care if you read the script. I'm not looking for you to be a professional salesperson with me on the next call. What I'm really asking for you to do is walk me through the discovery portion of who am I? Why do I want to talk to you? Why am I considering? Then transition me to the offer, however you'd want to do that.
Okay.
I'm really focusing on the offer portion. How will you communicate the offer to me? And then I may or may not give you an objection.
You'll give me an objection. What do you mean you may or may not?
Actually, I'm pretty sneaky. I'll give my objections in the beginning. I just question whether or not you'll catch them. Because if you do the discovery portion the right way, you'll catch the objection before you ever make the offer.
Okay.
And you'll take care of it.
Game on.
Well, folks, that's what we're looking for. I appreciate everybody staying for the extra 15 minutes. Next time we come on the call, I probably won't have a hook then either. I'll just throw something to Jen and make her take over.
I'll do it. I'm here for it.
But I appreciate everybody being here. I'm sure you all have the assets, Jen Rogers, Mic Drop Mastery. I was going to say .com. It's Substack. I keep forgetting. So subscribe over there and just keep your ears and eyes open on Substack. I will announce when the second live is going to be whenever we find a time to schedule it. But I hope this was beneficial for everybody. I hope they understand a little bit about how I go about questioning. Hopefully that'll help you with your sales calls and with your sales conversations. You can really take that same information I discussed, and if you don't want to have a sales call, you can literally put that in writing. So my simple approach is I might make a presentation, just go visit the Google Doc, because the Google Doc will pretty much say everything I'm saying, and I'll probably put a video with it, and it'll pretty much describe my offer and just go from there for a sale. So anybody can do this. You don't have to have a sales call. So thank you. Thank you, Charles, Patrick. I know you volunteered.
So good.
Thank you. Okay. So that being said, we're going to wrap it up there. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. And Jen, I will catch you somewhere after this.
Absolutely. We will. We'll talk in the chat. All right. Take care. God bless everybody.